Hello, social media. Welcome to Miracle Monday, and this is Dawn Petalino, your transformational coach and best-selling author of Peace, Power, and Miracles. And this is Miracle Monday, where I offer you some tips and tools of how to access more miracles in your life. And today's tip that I want to talk about is something I see a lot of people struggling with, and that is the inner struggle. And we want to talk about ending that inner conflict within us. Because oftentimes when there's conflict within us, it's because our heart and our mind are in a disagreement. And when you look at that closer, what's really happening is we're looking at the masculine and the feminine within ourselves being in conflict. Masculine is mind, feminine is heart. So when we're in conflict with ourselves, what often happens is what happens out in our society, mostly in the Western society, is that the mind wins out, right? Logic wins out, and we disregard, we suppress, we kind of push away the feminine feelings, right? Feelings aren't something that we really honor, so we kind of push those away in lieu of the masculine, in lieu of the mind. So let's take a little closer look at what masculine and feminine really are. So masculine is mind, but the trait of the masculine is drive. Masculine is a doing energy. It is the one of expression, and it's very important. It provides the drive. The feminine is receptivity. It receives, it embraces everything. Now, the masculine, when it's an immature masculine, it becomes very defensive. When it is a mature masculine, it becomes very diplomatic. An immature feminine that's receiving, and you think of your feelings, becomes reactive. But a mature feminine becomes responsive. So what we're learning to do within ourselves is to marry these two energies, to end not only the inner conflict within ourselves, but you'll see it change your relationships with other people, in particularly romantic relationships, where we play this out a lot. So what we're attempting to do here is really what the world is attempting to do right now, is to really honor the feminine. The feminine is the feeling. And A Course of Love says that your feelings provide you with knowledge, with intuitive knowledge. And when these are combined, these two energies, we do receive intuition. So embracing your femininity means really, you got to embrace all of your feelings, everything that's there. The Course of Love says, that anger, loneliness, sadness are a part of consciousness, just as much as happiness, peace, and compassion. Those are all part of consciousness. Consciousness, however, is not your response, which means you can't judge them. The feminine doesn't judge. The feminine receives, she opens, she accepts, and she says, I see that. It's all there. It's all there, and it's okay. So the feminine receives, but in that receptivity, we allow a space for something to be revealed to us. When we can accept and receive all that's going on in us without the judgment, without our response, that is the mind, that is the masculine doing a really great job of the diplomacy. It's creating this container. It's saying, you know what, let's just see what's here and we'll wait before we act. It's the voice of reason. Masculine then becomes the voice of reason, not the voice of condemnation. And then the feminine, she actually opens up to love. So when we embrace everything that's within us, all the feelings that we happen to be feeling, the crappy ones as well as the good ones, rather than pushing them away, rather than rejecting them, we embrace them. And in that way, we actually open up to love, because the feminine is able to do things. She brings love to the table. The masculine brings intuition. So you join those two together. You allow for the feelings, you receive them, you embrace them, and you open up your heart to love. Then you get information, and the masculine gets that information and is able to then act intuitively and lovingly. So no longer are we in a reactive defensive mode. We are now able to act in a diplomatic and responsive mode. And that's balancing those two energies. So let's think about how this plays out. If I'm feeling certain feelings that are uncomfortable, I may want to push them away. My masculine may say, well, wait, you've got to show up for the day. You've got these meetings. You have to push this away. But when I embrace everything that's going on in me as just part of me and who I am in this moment, I remain whole. I remain intact. My mind and my heart are joined. And rather than feeling all loosey-goosey, I actually feel really grounded because I'm knowing myself and I'm accepting myself. Now I can actually show up for that meeting in a more authentic way. It doesn't mean I'm going to be all blissed out if something's going on in me, but it does mean that I'm going to have the diplomacy to respond in a very loving way, in a way that is true to myself and also honors the other human being. So today, I invite you that if you are feeling the inner conflict between the mind and the heart, to take the time to embrace everything that you are feeling right now, to receive it. Just receive it. Allow it to be there, accept it, and notice what changes in your thinking. Notice how the mind calms down. Notice how it wants to support. Notice how you feel stronger in your body. And notice what intuition you might get as regarding your feelings, because they aren't always what we think. They give us information about ourselves. But first, we must receive them. So that is your invitation today. And I also invite you to take a look at the meditation. And the meditation that's with this is about embracing all that is. And it kind of goes along with a guided meditation to help you to really just accept everything that's within you now. Happy Miracle Monday. I hope to see you next week at our next Miracle Monday. And I hope you have a miraculous day. Bye for now.